Hi Ari.
Hi.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks.
So as you guys know, we're doing birth stories, and today we've got Ari, who is the founder and owner of Hatch, the brand Hatch, who we absolutely love. So today we just wanted you to share with everyone a little bit about your pregnancy, like what it was like getting pregnant. Some people it's super easy and others it's not as easy.
Yeah.
And whether it was what you expected it to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to share. So Max and I, my husband, we were very, very lucky. We decided kind of consciously that we were going to start trying, and very soon after we got pregnant, and I actually miscarried the first pregnancy, and then very soon after I got pregnant again with Charlie, my first daughter. So I was very excited but nervous, of course, the first couple of weeks. I think miscarriage, of course, well, a lot of people still don't talk about it very much, but it just makes the next one that much more special, and the scare turns into excitement, and then as you progress through the time, it's just pure delight. Yeah. So we were very fortunate that I was fertile, very fertile, and the pregnancy was just absolutely amazing. Just I loved being pregnant. That's when I kind of started to conceive of, well, what are women talking about now? Who's talking to me? And that's when Hatch kind of came into my mind. So it was during the pregnancy.
I was going to ask you that question. So
yeah.
Did you get the idea of Hatch actually while you were pregnant because you couldn't find the right type of clothes?
Absolutely. I was feeling so good, so blessed. My body was changing, but I felt sexy. Even though I was growing, I felt sexy and I wanted to rock it and show it off. And there was no one out there that was talking to me, and I wanted to spend my money, and nobody would take it unless it was like an Acne size 8 dress or a Maria Cornejo, voluminous piece. And I realized if I couldn't find something, there must be other women out there that couldn't find it either. Yeah.
And did you feel that after the miscarriage, because I know I've had a couple of miscarriages too, did you feel scared that things weren't going to go?
Always, of course. I mean, you hear the statistics, and that makes it a little bit easier to know, but then when it happens to you, you just think that potentially your body can't handle it. So those first few weeks after we found out we were actually pregnant again are so scary, and just day by day. But people don't tell people for 12 weeks. And the thing is, my friends and family are the ones that got me through the heartache. Even though I was 8 weeks along, it's still every day that you're not telling people, it feels like an eternity. So the idea of me sharing that information with my community and my close, loved ones was very helpful for me to get through it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's funny because I feel like, I thought that was only an English thing, that people waited until 3 months, but they do that in the States as well.
They do, and it's funny now that I'm around so many women who are pregnant, I don't know why it's taboo to talk about it. I know that, loss is loss, but don't you need your friends and your family and your peer group to help you through that loss. So I never really understand why it's such a secret. But now I'm a very big proponent of sharing the fact that miscarriages are okay, and it has absolutely nothing to do with getting pregnant again. It just happens to be unique to that pregnancy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what was your birth like? So first of all, were you pregnant here in the city?
Pregnant in the city.
Right.
Yep. So I'm just kind of walking down the streets of the hot concrete and just kind of sweating and waddling and doing the whole thing. I had a November baby, so I got the summer to kind of be at the beach and just air it out and just kind of waddle there. And then had the baby here in Mount Sinai.
You did?
I did.
So what did you expect the birth to be like, and how was it? And what did it actually turn out like? Was it what you expected?
I mean, it never is. I mean, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So who knew what to expect? I was just hoping that it would be a vaginal birth and not a C-section. I made that clear. My OB happens to be my gynecologist since I was a child, so our relationship is quite strong, and she's part of my family. So we made it very clear that was my intention. I did opt for an epidural, which I stand behind, and in fact, I was in labor. So I went into labor quite early and just spent about 20 hours at home just pacing.
Yeah.
My husband would go in and out of the bedroom taking naps. He did not care. He didn't give a shit that I was like in labor. He was just down doing his thing. And I was actually taking baths because it was the only thing that really made me feel a lot better. I know doctors kind of differ on whether or not baths are good, but it's my home base. And the contractions just kind of weren't close enough to go to the hospital. So finally, when they were, I
You
was.
did 20 hours of just, did you sleep? I mean,
Yeah.
you must have rested.
And I mean, you're so excited,
I know.
you know, it's the
I know.
moment, you know, and by that time I was cooked and I was so over it and I was crying all the time, just get this baby out of me. Like, I'm done,
Yeah.
I'm done. And I was excited to meet it. And at the time I didn't know if it was a boy or a girl, so it was a surprise. And so I just remember being in the apartment, going in and out of the bathtub. And then finally, when I was timing them and they started getting a little closer together, we said, let's do this. And we live in Soho and the hospital's on 98th Street. And so by the time I got to the hospital, we were actually a little too late for the epidural. Yeah, but listen, this is everything, you know, yeah. So it was quite, you know, it was quite real, very real and very alive. And then lo and behold, I went into labor and Charlie, I started pushing. I did get an epidural, but it was just late. And I started pushing and my daughter Charlie came out and I was only pushing, I'd say, for about 30 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was very, very fortunate.
Did you tear?
Yeah. Not too much. I had a couple stitches, but not too bad. With my second Georgie, I teared pretty bad. And it was just, you know, and it was a girl, and I didn't know what I was having. So not only do you have a baby, but you don't know what relationship you're making, whether it's a son or daughter, and it was just the most amazing thing.
And was your first and second pregnancy, were they similar?
I was convinced both times that I was having boys.
Right.
I was totally wrong.
That's
so
always
just
the
when
way,
you
isn't it?
think
Yeah.
you know what's going on with your body, you have no idea. Life's little funny, you know, jokes that plays on us. And they were very different pregnancies. I popped much sooner with Georgie, my second one, and the birth was a little bit just tougher on my body. So I tore a lot and had like many more stitches. But both, I mean, my pushing time with both was quite short. And I did miscarry before Georgie as well.
Really?
Yeah, so I had miscarriages before both girls. And to me, in retrospect, it was kind of this beautiful must be in order to create what I created. And who knows why, but it was priming my body and preparing me for, you know, having these beautiful little delicious girls.
I think it's so important for especially the mums out there that are going to be watching this, that if you're trying to get pregnant and you had a miscarriage, it does happen and it can be okay. I'd say almost every person we've interviewed, Jess, haven't they, have said, actually I miscarried. And they still went on to have healthy babies.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
It happens.
In
So
fact,
have faith, guys.
have faith. In fact, you're actually quite fertile after you have a miscarriage. And yeah, your body's just kind of revving up to go. I mean, you probably know more about this than I do. But I got pregnant quite quickly after both miscarriages, probably 6 to 8 weeks. So it wasn't, you know, I was sad, but I got right back on there. And Max and I kept doing what we do best. And there they were.
Practicing.
I wasn't letting anything stop us. But I am one of the more fortunate that when we put our minds to it, we were able to kind of conceive. So it was great.
Yeah, wonderful. And how old are your babies now?
They're not babies anymore, 7 and 3.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's me. That's
Yeah,
me. That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
7 and 3,
Yeah. And I'd love another one, but there's just not enough time in the day.
Yeah. I get it. Well, Ari, thank you so much for
Oh my
sharing
God,
your
thanks for
story
having
with
me.
us. That was so great. Thank you so much. Thank
Awesome.
you guys for listening.
Thank
See
you.
you soon.